All right. So when you got to your first target of 1,000, that's where you're like, all right, well, I've proven to myself that I hit that target. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, what are some of the guys that are above me doing? And that got you into more acquisitions. Because then you set another target after that.
Yeah. So the first target was 1,000. And then once I started looking at more acquisition-based kind of game planning, if you want to call it, I was at 2,000. And then from there, the target was 3,000. And a lot of that was based on, I think this is a common play for a lot of guys. It's based on what your peers are doing, right? So you hear, sometimes I think that anybody's ideas are never their ideas, right? It's probably the truth. I mean, you start to see...
That burns you up too.
Well, you see somebody else who's like, yeah, I got 50 locations or 10 locations, and you look at them and you look at what they're doing, and you set a benchmark of what you want to get to based on what they're doing. And so I think that's kind of a little bit of a nebulous target. But I always felt like 5,000 treatments a week was a very substantial number as a company based on some private equity data that I've received, where if you're at 5,000 visits a week, you could basically fund your own expansion. So if you're you're looking at, say, I know you're jumping on the calculator there.
Well, I'm trying to think. That's probably what, 25 million a year, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
that's right. So I think anything above 20 allows you some good bandwidth to do some stuff like that. But I really think, from my calculations, and I can get more into it, 25 is a number that will give you an opportunity. And this is not something that I've kind of necessarily put together. This is what I've heard. Like, if you really look at, that number, it's going to be for sure an ability that you can have to buy your own practices, offset some of the challenges in the field, labor through some labor challenges, and work through the market, right? Because you have enough substantiation, you have enough of a market share in that position to do those kind of things.
Yeah, but did you ever? Okay, but do you have a number in mind of, okay, do you have to get to 5,000 and then you're like, all right, I'm going to exit out at that point?
I think honestly, it's based on. For me at least, it's based on the opportunities that present themselves. But I think anywhere from now going forward, I could exit. Depending on how much of the stress I want to deal with, how much opportunity I see out there to grow, and reality is that if there is a market in New York, particularly, there is a pretty heavy market for private equity and partners that are substantial, and they're going to provide potentially something that I can't provide my staff.
Yep.
And at some point, not because I'm going to lose the staff, but at some point, I could take what I've accomplished with my team, work into a partner, and provide more things to my team with the partner that I couldn't alone. So I'm just going to, in my opinion, advance that up. But the key thing, and I would recommend this to anybody, is that you have to go into those deals knowing exactly what you're going to provide the partner, and make sure you can provide something substantial to that partner that they either are doing themselves, not as well as you are, or they are not doing. And that partner should provide you something that's specific to what you need. Either it be, better healthcare insurance for your team, a better management team, a better plan. A lot of times, a lot of these guys will sell and work with people that are just far more experienced and have more background, can provide them guidance to growth. Or that partner could take your team when you're not there and accelerate that team to another level that you can't do.